Now, Google Sites makes embedding documents, whether it be a Google Doc, slideshow, spreadsheet, form, whatever it might be, incredibly easy because it's automatically linked to your Google Drive account. So inserting a document is as easy as clicking the Drive button or scrolling down and grabbing one of the, say, docs, slides, sheets, forms, or charts placeholders, or by double-clicking and hitting the Drive button here. Now, one thing you need to consider when you insert a document is the document's sharing permissions. So just because your website is public doesn't necessarily mean that everything you put on it will be. And this is actually really nice. Say, for example, this was a public site that can be viewed by parents, students, anywhere in the world. But you wanted to put a document, say maybe a doc that linked to a Google Classroom page that obviously should be kept private for just your students, or maybe some type of quiz or results that's only shared with a certain one of your classes. You can make sure that that document has specific sharing permissions that aren't necessarily the same as your site. So here's what I'm talking about. If I hit the Drive button, I'm going to go to Recent and I'm going to drop in a document for my assignments. So these are like all the different assignments and homework for my classes. Okay, so I'm going to drop in this spreadsheet. It's just for all my classes, and obviously right now there aren't any assignments, but I know that this spreadsheet is, say, it's public. So if I go ahead and if I publish my site, like so, I can hit view and I can go to my site, and here is Mr. E's assignments, and it's all good to go. Now remember, when I'm looking at this, I'm logged in as me right now. So it's always a good idea to check to see what your website looks like as if it wasn't you. And I know that I'm logged in as me because I have the little pencil here, so I can actually click to edit the page. If I were to copy my site URL, and if I were to go to, let's say, a guest window, this is where I'm not logged in, I can now browse my site and I can see that these documents are still public. But what if I were to embed a document that I know isn't public? So for example, if I go to my Drive and if I say, let's select my schedule, okay, this is not public. It's only shared with a certain amount of people. And if I publish my site, I hit publish, I view my published site. So again, this is me logged in. I can see this spreadsheet, so I can see the schedule here, and I know it's me because I have the pencil. But if I go to my guest tab and if I refresh my page, I can no longer see this spreadsheet. So this document, the assignments, is a public doc that is viewable by anybody, and that's why right now in the guest tab, I can actually see it here embedded. This, the schedule, is not. And if I click on this, if I go to open this, it's going to give me the sign in as Drive and then the request sharing permissions, just like any other Google Doc. So when you're embedding your documents, working with documents is very similar to working with images or text boxes. You can very simply click them, you can drag them, you can change the size of them, place them anywhere on the site you want. But by placing them into your website does not necessarily change the sharing permissions. So in your actual Google Drive, if you want something to be viewable by anybody, just like any other doc, you have to make sure that that document is in fact viewable by anyone on the internet. Or likewise, if you want a doc embedded on your site to only be viewable by, say, your students, you should share it with that specific group of students or class or other teachers or just Madison and JPS only, whatever it is that you'd like it to be.